Okay, so welcome back to Unity, guys. Um this video name like the name says, we're going to learn how to use animation in Unity today, which is good for us. Anyways, I have an empty scene in Unity. I'm not using any default layout or any of this, so all I did was set up my own layout. So you can follow me if you want this type. Scene tab should be shared with asset store, the game here, so you can work on your game as well as see what it looks like over here in the game tab, and put your hierarchy and inspector wherever you want. So that's all I did. I just opened it and I named this tooth, because in our tutorial scene we created a game with that, which is good. Anyways, for this video we're going to start animating in Unity, and the way we actually do that is by using Unity's animation. So what I'll do now is create a 3D game object. It's going to be a cube, and I'm going to push this right over there towards the end of the screen. Let's say somewhere around here. That's -6. So let's put this as -6, which is okay. So for those who don't know where the animation is, I docked my own over here, but in case yours is not around, let me take this out. All you have to do is go into the Windows, come to animation, select your animation, and it's going to be just a normal tab, so you have to find a way to dock it somewhere. That's if you like. So I'm going to dock it here, and this would be my animation tab, which is nice. So next thing we'll do the create. Go into the animation tab, and we're going to click on this create animation. Make sure the object game object which you want to animate is selected, and then you can go ahead and create this animation. So I'm just going to name this animation move, because it's not going to be anything complex anyway. And now when we create this animation in the folder, we can see that it adds an animator for us on that game object by default. So that's like it kind of requires this component before it can like play an animation. If not, it's not going to work. So it also needs an animator controller. You can see it has added one for us. So this is our animation which we created, that's move, and then this cube would be the animation controller, which is the one over here, since there is no avatar for this animation. So back inside here, what we can do is we can add a property. You can see these are the properties which you can animate in a game object. There is a transform, mesh renderer, box collider. So we're going to be touching these two for this video. We're not going to be colliding with anything, so that would not be of essence, but you can always play with it. Just follow the steps which are used for those two and it will be okay. So to animate this game object from this position, we want it to move here with a bit of rotation and coloring. So what we do now is we hit this red button to record, and then we select the game object and try to drag it. You can see it inserts 2 keyframes for us. Rather than put this as -7, let's set this to -6, and this should do. So I can also give this a rotation. You can see it added a property for position for us. So I can click this down here. You see my position currently is -6, and it has been recorded with these keyframes. What I want to do is add a rotation to it, which I can go into the transform, select the rotation, and add this. Drop down this rotation, and then go into my X. I'm going to set this to 45 degrees or 45 as rotation, and then I'm going to drag this line over here somewhere around 5 seconds. I'm also going to set this position. I'm going to drag this our game object to the opposite side. You can see it inserts a keyframe for us. This is 6, so that's -6. This should be 6. Let's put it as 6, and this should do for the animation. My rotation, rather than 45, I'm going to set this to, let's say, 120. This should be okay. So if I should remove or cancel this record and play this animation, you can see it's playing our animation, moving from this location to the other. And it may be a bit fast now, but the way we can solve this problem is coming into this settings looking button, and you can see there is seconds and there's frames depending on which you want to use. So the frames just changes this to kind of like the frames of the computer. If you understand how to use the frames, then it's the same thing. But if you prefer seconds, which is the one we're using, we're going to set this to 5 seconds, which is okay. Another thing you should keep track of is the set sample rate. So currently we're using 60 rate. You can set this to 24 and you can see just how slow it becomes, so our eye can catch it, which is okay. Next would be our renderer for the game object. We're going to go into our projects folder and create material for this. We're going to call this mat, and we can duplicate this material. So I'll have two materials now, mat 1 and mat 2. So for this mat 1, let's give it a color something like red. Bump up the metallicness somewhere around 0.46 or 48, and then this should be shiny. I need it to be smooth, not too smooth, somewhere about there. It should be okay. And same thing here, this would be something blue. Let's put this to blue, bump up the metallicness same as before, and then this should be a bit shiny too, so I'll leave it somewhere there. And back in my animation, let's cancel this. Let's select our cube, which is what we're animating. Let's hit this red button and go back on this 0. That's the default position for it. I'm going to drag this red material and apply it on my cube so it records, and now you can see it adds the mesh renderer material to it. So this is the red, and if I should use my middle mouse button to scroll back, you can see the end of the frame is somewhere around 2 now. So I can also go back to select this 2 somewhere around there, go back into my project and take this material and apply it to my cube over there. So now if I should stop this recording and play my animation, you can see it goes from red to blue. So just look at it slightly, you can see it changes from red to blue slowly, of course. So this is the way which you can animate simply. And then next thing I'll talk about will be these curves. So these curves now, what it does is this red kind of represents the position for the game object. So let me cancel this play and let's take a look at this. If I should hit somewhere on the red and I should drag it up, 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 you can see it affects the position. Let me play this. You can see it goes even off the screen. This is kind of like the position, so the higher it goes, the more off screen it goes. You can see that. And if I should drag this down somewhere down, you can see it just stays beyond the screen, or it stays inside the screen, but it kind of pulls back or slightly. And then if I should drag this to my left, what it does is it starts fast and then it slows down towards the ending. And if I should drag it in the opposite side, what it does is that it would start slow and then become fast towards the ending. So like this is what the curves do. There is a curve for each and every line or each and every like position, rotation or scale, and different things which you decide to add into the animation. And let's not play this, let's go back into our dope sheet. And with this you can see, instead of this frame at the beginning and also at the end, it adds another keyframe for us over here, because we played with the curves. So we kind of set this diamond looking frame to it, so it adds this to us. But if I should delete this now, you can see if I should go back into my curve, it doesn't have any effect. It just plays my normal animation the way it is supposed to. So this is just the basic way to animate something in Unity, and let's play this like a game and see what happens. So you can see that this animation is played in our game, and it keeps on looping, and it will continue to loop over and over and over again. If we don't want this to keep on looping, all we have to do is select our animation, and this loop time we deactivate it. So this should be okay. Now let's play our game to see what it looks like. You can see the animation plays, and then once it reaches its destination, it stops. So it just plays once, and that's all. The animation doesn't play any longer. So that's the way which you can just animate game objects inside of Unity. So with this being said, we're done for today's video. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed it, hit me a thumbs up, and do not forget to subscribe to for more of my content. Subscribe to this channel. Anyways, that's it for this video. See you guys in the next.